The Avatar, the bridge between the human world and the spirit world. But how did the spirit world even come to be? Where do spirits come from? How did humans come to bend the elements? What does it truly mean to bend the elements? And how is the Avatar at the center of all of this? Hi you, King here, and I will explain all of this in this 3-part video series, with this first part being called, Where do spirits come from? You see, we were revealed that at one point in time, spirits freely roamed in the human world. With no natural way to protect themselves from the spirits' effects, humans would form a symbiotic relationship with lion turtles, living on their backs while the lion turtles protected them from the spirits. And the lion turtles would even grant the humans bending as a way for them to head out into the spirit wilds and hunt for food and resources, while also being able to protect themselves from spirits, but always giving the bending back to the lion turtles once they returned. Eventually, a young man named Juan would come around, changing all of this, becoming the very first Avatar, getting the ability to bend all 4 elements. He would not only sever the connection between the human world and the spirit world, but he would inspire humans to go out and live in the wilds like he did, with the lion turtles permanently granting them the powers to bend. Yeah, we've seen this origin in Avatar Legends of Korra, and it did explain a lot behind the origin of the Avatar and the Avatar cycle, as well as the origin of bending, but it didn't really explain where spirits come from. And I know some of y'all are already commenting down, they come from the spirit world, you dingus. But my question to you is, but where did the spirit world even come from? Well, I have a theory. You see, throughout the entire series of Avatar, we've seen there to be many types of spirits. Some new, some old, some ancient, and depending on where they are on that spectrum, tends to equal how powerful they are. Like the spirits of light and darkness, order and chaos, Rava and Vatu. They are considered ancient spirits, going all the way back to the dawn of time. They are ridiculously powerful. Compared to a new spirit like Uncle Iroh after he passed away. Most people would consider him to be a strong spirit because of what he knows and how spirits affect physical matter, but still, he is nothing compared to ancient spirits like the Face Stealer Ko or the Mother of Faces. But it shows proof that once a living creature dies, they become a spirit that either wanders the human world or somehow finds their way into the spirit world and continue existing there. And spirits can't die unless one of 2 things happen. Either they have their essence absorbed by an even greater spirit being devoured by the latter, or they somehow transform back into a living creature and then perish by some form of death. For which that is possible because it has happened a couple of times in the Avatar world. With one of the most famous examples being when the ocean and moon spirits Tu and La became koi fishes to be amongst the water tribe. But by doing this, they gave up their immortality, allowing for one of them to easily be slayed by General Shao's simple fire attack. Or when a giant spirit, Lady Tianhai, permanently turned herself into a human after falling in love with a city's prince, who after dying as a human turned into crane fishes that permanently guarded the area for which her city once stood. All that to say, spirits can die, but they don't truly die. Just like energy, they can't be destroyed nor stop existing. They just take on another form. And I believe, and this is a truly crazy theory, mind you, that humans in the Avatar world were born of spirits. And not just humans, but I believe all the crazy wild creatures of the Avatar world were also born of spirits. Think about it. Shershus, flying lemurs, and all these other crazy mixed match animals. I think at some point in time, spirits decided to come into the human world, or maybe this was after one severed the connection between the human world and the spirit world, that once they stayed there, they felt like they had to find a way to permanently be there, permanently exist there. So they, I think, turned themselves into animals, like creatures, but it wasn't as normal as animals we do see in the Avatar world, like bears. And because they were alive, they could produce, they could have babies, in which case, like, basically, these creatures hailed from spirits, but once they became living organisms, they produce like living organisms. And I'm saying this could have been the case for every living creature in the Avatar world, including humans, because spirits are ancient and they can almost do anything they put their mind to. They can change, they can turn into any form, and honestly, they could predate the human world, which could have just been a vacant plane of existence before they started entering it. But where is the proof for such an outlandish theory? Well, aside from what I've already given you, I'd say it's also the energy within people. Energy bending is what I mean. It's like what the Lion Turtles once said: before we bent the elements, we bent the energy within ourselves. I theorize that the Lion Turtles, the oldest known living animals in the Avatar world, who are not only able to energy bend, but bend the elements themselves, are derived from ancient spirits. And they know this, and they've never forgotten this. I truly believe even spirits can forget after living such a ridiculously long time, or existing such a ridiculously long time, that they forgot what they did or who they were, and so forget what they're able to do. But the Lion Turtles didn't. That's why they could communicate telepathically like spirits can, or bend the elements by bending the energy within themselves to do so. As bending was never a power that could be given, it was a power that could be unlocked within all living creatures. Quick example: badger moles, sky bisons, dragons, the original bending masters, I believe all derived from spirits that never truly forgotten their spirit abilities and was able to pass on the knowledge down to their descendants, allowing them to continue being able to bend the elements within their species. We even saw an example of this from one learning the dragon dance from a literal spirit dragon. Now, on whether or not that spirit dragon would go on to become a real dragon is still up for question, as who knows, maybe the human world came first and everything in the spirit world came from us passing on and becoming spirits, but with spirits being able to actually reverse that process to become living creatures, who's to say? But with them being as old as possible and never truly dying, who knows? Maybe spirits came first and we are just in an endless cycle of spirits then humans, or humans then spirits. It's all just a theory. But I think I'm right, and it gives much credence to why I think energy bending wasn't just the first bending style, but the greatest one, allowing for it to be the fifth bending type of a fifth nation. For all those curious on that, check out a previous video I made called Avatar, the Fifth Nation, or energy bending, and just go check out my playlist. You'll see it. But to all those who stuck to the end of this video, thank you. This is just part 1. Like, share, subscribe, and follow for parts 2 and 3. Also, comment down below your thoughts on this theory. If you enjoyed it, click that notification bell so you know first when parts 2 and 3 drop. Stay great.